All right, well, what would the NFL draft be without a Big 12 wide receiver? Let's talk a little Marvin Mims out of Oklahoma State, a 5'11", 180 guy. I think the question mark on him is his durability. Other than that, you got to love his speed. You got to love his athleticism. This guy is flat out electric. He's got some wiggle to him. The GMs love it. He's a guy that can stretch the field, and he's a guy that can take a 5-yard catch, extend a play, pick up yards after catch, which is huge in today's NFL game. You need a guy that can stretch the field and pick up long gains on short completions. I look at him and I think about comps in the NFL, and it's a hard comp to peg, but I think Darnell Mooney, the 2020 draft out of Tulane, is probably most similar. So that's everything Marvin Mims, the Big 12 wide receiver out of Oklahoma State.
Arkansas linebacker Drew Sanders is an interesting player. He was at Alabama, played on the edge, and then transferred to Arkansas. What did the Razorbacks do with him? They moved him inside to an off-the-ball position, and he played very well. He's a guy who can run, he's athletic, he's tough. The one thing I noticed on tape, though, was the fact that he was sometimes engulfed at the line of scrimmage. You get guards on him, they get their bodies on him, they move him off the ball. He's got to be better, he's got to get a little stronger. He only weighs 235 pounds. I think he has the frame to maybe get to 245, 250. Then he'll be much better against the run. But boy, you pop that tape on, you see a ton of athletic ability, which everybody's looking for at the linebacker position. He can run, he can cover. The comparison, Quay Walker, the rookie for the Green Bay Packers. Athletic, big, strong. Took a little time to adjust to the NFL game. Really came on latter half of the season. I think Drew Sanders can have that type of rookie impact for whoever drafts him.
Riley Moss, cornerback out of Iowa, has a lot of Eli Apple in his game. There may not be a smarter defensive back, or maybe even player on either side of the ball than Riley Moss. What he lacks in short area quickness and athleticism, he more than makes up for with high football IQ. He consistently is in the right place at the right time, making plays on the ball, jumping routes, or putting himself in position to make a wrap-up tackle. And the numbers back it up. He finished his Iowa career with 11 career interceptions, including 3 pick sixes and 25 pass breakups. And while he looks the part of NFL quarterback at 6'0", 192, and with that 4.45 40 time, he doesn't always play that fast on tape. But again, it's the intelligence, the ball skills, along with being a thumper and run support that stick out. And even if some teams don't think his NFL future is at cornerback, he'll make an easy transition to safety at the next level.
J.L. Skinner, coming from Boise State, probably the tallest safety that will be available, 6'4", 220, 4 interceptions, 65 tackles, a hard-hitting safety who doesn't mind mixing it up, getting down and ugly in the trenches or doing damage in the secondary. He has quick feet for a guy of his size. He plays with low hips as well and a nice shoulder bend when you talk about being a 6'4" type corner, not to mention the way he attacks the football in coverage. I love the versatility that he's been able to display. If he goes to the right system, you better believe he will be causing a lot of damage for whatever team decides to draft him. NFL player comp, Jaron Curse for the Dallas Cowboys. You talk about the length, the size, the measurables. They have like traits in regards to that element, and they also have the same style of play.
Alex Forsyth, offensive lineman for Oregon, and his comp, another Alex Stepanovich. Forsyth has the experience at all the interior offensive line positions and even played some right tackle early in his career for the Ducks. But his NFL future will likely be at center, and he was the leader of that unit in 2022 for Oregon. He moves well in space and more athletic than he might appear, and he's one of the smartest players on the field. Not surprisingly, because he's so good on the move, he's a better fit in zone schemes. He's a natural combo blocker and regularly finds his target at the second level, but he will sometimes struggle to sustain blocks because of the lack of functional strength. Unfortunately, he pulled out of the Senior Bowl where he would have had another chance to prove himself to NFL evaluators, and back issues that plagued him at times during the college will be a concern during the pre-draft process.
Thomas Incoom out of Central Michigan at 6'2", 265 reminds me a lot of Marcus Golden, who was a tremendous undersized edge rusher that did a great job versus the run. That's why I see from Incoom someone that can set a physical edge, get upfield, and force that running back to go the opposite way, but also has the ability to bend the edge, dip, and accelerate to the quarterback and get him on the ground. So he gets off the ball really quickly and puts the quarterback in the passing game in the bind. Now, on the other side of those things, you like to see his spatial awareness improve, get a little bit more savvy on what's going on around him as opposed to free falling into one direction, has to be a little bit more aware as he moves forward in order to be a more complete defensive end.
PJ Mustafer, Penn State defensive lineman, who's a two-time captain and a 3-year starter for Penn State. His brother, Sam Mustafer, also played in the NFL as an offensive lineman, most recently for the Chicago Bears. PJ Mustafer is a stout run stuffer, and he can control the middle of the defense as that anchor. He has the ability to penetrate gaps, but he needs to improve his pass rush and his footwork. He reminds me a lot as far as a comp of Sebastian Joseph Day when he was coming out into the NFL.